Are you ready to create your own website in minutes, even if you've never coded a single line in your life? Well, you're in for a treat. In today's video, we're diving into the world of AI-powered web development, where coding complexity becomes a thing of the past. Say goodbye to the steep learning curve and hello to a website that practically builds itself. No experience required, just your enthusiasm and a desire to create something amazing. Stay tuned because this is the future of web development and it's easier than you've ever imagined. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to this video. My name is David Thorne. In this video series, I'm going to be helping you to create your own website purely using ChatGPT. Now, if you don't know what ChatGPT is, quick intro. It's an artificial intelligence that's going to basically answer all of your questions and to do lots of things for you. It's like Google enhanced on steroids. Basically, it's not on steroids, but it's just an AI. Anyway, why would you want to use this, and who is this video for, etc., etc. So this video is for people that have zero idea about how to create a website. I mean, literally, they have no idea and they call themselves like not very good at computers. They don't know how to do anything, but they want to be able to create a website. And I literally mean you don't know how to create a website at all and have zero experience and don't know anyone how to create it. And this is the first time that you've ever needed to make a website because you want to get up and running with your own business, your own online business, etc., etc. So just remember, if you have any idea about how to make websites, how to develop websites, if you know, but this is not for you, all right? If you want to know how you can use artificial intelligence to do most of the work for you and ask it all the questions required, this is exactly the video for you, all right? So with that said, let's get started, all right? So just a quick background on me. I've been writing software now for 15 years, you don't know anything about this stuff, so there's no point me explaining it to you so you don't know. I'm just very good at what I do, and I'm going to use ChatGPT and me to help you to know what questions and you need to ask ChatGPT to be able to do this yourself. So with that said, I'm on my Mac, right? And you could do this on your normal computer and so on, and we're going to try and do it as basic as possible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a hard drive, right, that I've got already on here. A hard drive I've got already on here. It's called temp drive 200 gigabytes. So this is basically where any data on my Mac I'm going to store for this and going to create the stuff. All right, so it's good that if you are on your Windows machine, your Mac or your Linux machine or something like that, that you create a folder right now, and we'll work. If we have to save any files, then we'll work in that one folder. So when I say save now this document, I mean to this one folder that we're going to work on. And for me, we're going to use in my temp drive, my SD card, or we're going to just call it tut, right, as in for tutorial, and we're going to put everything in here, all right? And so let's just get rid of this. So now we have a space where we can create anything that's required, all right? But we don't need it for now. So let's start with ChatGPT, and all you need to do is go to chat.openai.com or type ChatGPT into Google, and it will direct you here. Sign in or sign up. And this is what screen you're going to get in the beginning, all right? And so there's a few configuration things that you can do. So if we come to these dots here and we say custom instructions, and it's going to say here, what would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses, and how would you like ChatGPT to respond? Okay, so and enable for new chats. We haven't had any chats right now. So what would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better response? So I want, or I'm going to say I intend to make my own website for my let's call it a cooking video tutorials cooking tutorials for my cooking video tutorials that I post on YouTube and or other social media platforms. All right, so we're just telling it, hey, we're gonna make a whole bunch of cooking video tutorials that I post on YouTube or other social media platforms. So I know absolutely nothing about web development, creating websites, configuring servers or anything else. I have no idea and need real support. So how would you like ChatGPT to respond? I think we'll just start with and see whether we can improve this. How would you like? So please answer me as if I was let's say I was in the 11th grade at school, but I need lots of examples and also metaphors. Okay, if in doubt, explain in detail. Always, please always provide. My typing's getting worse over the years. Provide me with clear code examples and or documentation steps that I can follow. All right, so let's save this now, and so please start helping me. Let's just see whether it's going to do anything for me. All right, so we're just going to say please start helping me to. We've kind of give it some background. So let's do this now. Press enter. Of course, I'll help you get started with creating your cooking video tutorials website. Imagine building a website like making a cookbook. You have all your delicious recipes, your content that you want to share with the world, and a website is like the cookbook where people can find and enjoy your recipes. So, first of all, choose a domain. Think of a domain like the title of your cookbook. It's the web address people use to find your site. You can use a domain register like GoDaddy and Namecheap to register a domain, for example, here. Okay, so we're happy with this, and so now let's go back over before we read the rest of it. What would you like to, the website domain that I want to choose or want to have is davidsrecipes.com. but have not purchased it yet, but would like it. All right, so let's save that. Please assist again. Whoops. Let's just press enter. Let's see what it says now. Certainly, I'm here to help. Let's dive deeper into the process of creating your cooking video tutorial. We'll use a metaphor of building a cookbook like a website. Imagine your domain name as the title of your cookbook. It should be easy to remember and relevant to your content. To get one, go to a domain register like GoDaddy or Namecheap. Fair enough. I wouldn't use those two personally, but it's telling us to use those there. So think of hosting as the kitchen where your recipes website content will be prepared. Fair enough. A hosting provider like Bluehost or SiteGround provides a space and tools to store and serve your website to visitors. Okay. Select a website builder. Website builders are like good cookbook templates to provide a structure for your website. You can use platforms like Wix, WordPress, or Squarespace. They offer tools to design your site without needing to code. So designing your website, okay, that's add content, make it user-friendly. Okay, we're getting onto this now. Okay, well, let me just give you a top tip. If you're in America, then yeah, fine, go to these. I prefer, what do you think about buying a domain at ionus, I or at 1 and 1 or 1 and 1. So 1 and 1 known as ionus is a reputable domain name registrar. Okay, that's where I would personally say to buy one, just your domain. They offer domain registration services along with the website hosting and related services. Many people have used their services for domain registration. So now we have the information here. My advice for you is to use ionus for your domain name purchase. So let's just say I don't know what a domain name is. Please help. Okay, so if you don't know, no problem. I'll explain it in simple terms. And now you can see that we are going through. You can read this yourself. We're going through what a domain name is and so on. And so when you think about creating a website for your cooking videos, choose a domain name that's easy to remember and reflects what your website is about. It's like choosing a catchy name for the restaurant to attract more customers. If you have a specific name in mind, you can check its availability with a domain registrar. Okay, so let's just say that, please give me an example of using a domain registrar to check availability. I'm just going to leave the mistakes there. So sure, let's show you an example using Namecheap, which is popular with the alert. Go to the website, right in the search bar on the web page, enter the domain name, click search, and so on. So let's come to Namecheap, and we then said davidsrecipes.com. Let's get rid of that. .com, and okay, we accept all, fine. Let's have a look, and we can see that we can buy it. So $9.75 a year. Add to cart. So ionus David's recipes.com. Let's have a look at that. And there we can see we can buy it, or we can buy this domain. This is a generic top level domain here, and yes, you can buy it. So it's like €8 a month. That seems super cheap. Anyway, so there we go. So there you can buy it, and so on. So in the case that you can decide to register it, if it's not available, you can either choose one of the suggested alternatives or try a different domain. Okay, remember that the availability of the domain can change. So if you find one you like, it's a good idea to register it as soon as possible. Okay, so I have now found my domain name, davidsrecipes.com, and purchased it by ionus. What's the next step? So I'm just in editing right now, and all I want to say is that I don't think it's completely required for you to buy the domain straight away. It's definitely, if this is like a really catchy domain name, I would really suggest you buying just the domain itself for at least a year or 2 years and get it there. And once it's done, there's other ways of then being able to then host it, and using name servers and A records and all other stuff, which there's questions that you can ask ChatGPT about in the future. But if it's, like I said, a really catchy domain name, then I would spend really lots of time. I'd make a new chat right now and say, how can I quickly get a domain name purchased, secured, and so on for the cheapest price? And that's something I would really think about, because you're going to kick yourself if you don't buy the domain name that you want. So that's point to note right now. If you're making a website and you know what your domain is, buy it first. But buy it somewhere that's reputable, where there's lots and lots of people have used it. And if you're in Germany, I would really would advise ionus or 1&1, because I've all my domains there, and I have all of my domains by them. I don't do any of my emails there or nothing by it. I literally just host my domain names there, and then I do everything else through DigitalOcean. Okay, anyway, let's get back to the video. Great. Now that you've registered your domain name, David, what with Ionis, the next step is to set up your website. Here's what you got to do. Choose a website builder or platform, connect your domain, design your website, add content, customize tests, and publish your website. Okay, you can read this, okay, but so now we have a domain. It's saying you need a website builder or a hosting platform, all right? I want to be able to control my websites completely myself and want to be able to, code it myself. What do you advise? So, if you want full control of your website and the ability to code it yourself, you need to take a more hands-on approach to web development. Here's what I advise. Learn web development basics. Okay, I suggest reading this. Choose a hosting provider. Okay, well, we need somewhere to host. So hosting's popping up now. Code your website, test and debug. This is all way too far. So we're just going to get rid of this now, and we're just going to do hosting. Okay, so learn web development basics. Well, this is going to need learning. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of beginner's guides. What is HTML, formatting text, etc., that you can use for assistance. Now, if this is not something that you want to do and you like reading, I would advise keep on using ChatGPT for it as well. Otherwise, I would recommend buying a couple of books, but you actually don't need to spend money on this stuff. A website that I have always used in the past, and sometimes I use now if I forget something, is then w3schools.com/HTML, and this will take you through in a super basic way to learn how to do it. All right, so if you do have a question, come to here and then look at it, and then take the examples that you've got, go back to ChatGPT, and keep going from there. All right, backwards and forwards. I would use this as good reference for it as well. So anyway, there we go. If you're getting back to the point that learning HTML and the websites first, I would recommend this resource to assist you in that branch to go off even further. Right, back to the video. Well, this is going to need learning. Okay, so what hosting provider do you suggest where I can cancel at any time or pay for the resources per hour if possible? So for running, so if you just want to host a simple basic website using HTML and CSS, etc., nothing that's going to really any big technologies, then as you can see that I host a lot of stuff on DigitalOcean, and right now it's coming to the end of the month and I'm on $44.61, and I do host a lot of stuff. All right, so you can see here that your one server is going to cost you $4 a month, right? And that's to have it hosted in Frankfurt or any of these one countries. So this is what I would really recommend: going to DigitalOcean, making a droplet, and then hosting the other stuff. Is a whole bunch of other videos, but it's super easy to do, and maybe I'll make videos about it in the future. But this is my recommendation for doing the hosting. This is a super important thing to understand, right? Pay by the hour, or pay by the minute, pay by the second if possible, because you don't pay by a year. If you're looking for hosting providers that offer a flexibility in terms of cancelling at any time, then you've got Amazon Web Services or AWS, Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft Azure, DigitalOcean, and so on. So I think my personal advice is using DigitalOcean and so on. Okay, so I've created you a QR code for DigitalOcean. If you scan this on the screen right now, then you can use this. All right, and then you've got some way of hosting it at least. I start with a new chat. I now have my hosting for my website, David's Recipes, at DigitalOcean. Well, I now have an account for my hosting my website at distillation, what would you do next? Okay, so choose a web platform framework, install WordPress and DigitalOcean, choose a theme, add content, customize your website. Okay, so here it's telling you to choose a framework. Think of web development framework as your kitchen appliances, just like a chef. I recommend WordPress. I don't recommend WordPress in the beginning. It's too much overhead. And yes, the learning curve is just as steep if you want to get something up and running quickly. Yes, there are massive benefits to this, but also comes with lots of problems. And if you want to be able to have a simple website in the beginning, my wife, she likes to be able to do everything herself and like to know how to do things herself. And as we were talking about her website, I said, well, WordPress is the way to do it, and her ex-husband is also a software developer, so he would also use WordPress. But it's too much of a learning curve. If you have to work through the daytime and you need to learn new things, you need to add this and add that. Yes, it's fine to use WordPress, but it's also sometimes better to spend that time and invest it in learning how to create your own website using the videos, because it's actually not that difficult to create a basic website. That if you're going to create a website and it's going to stay the same for the next 2 years, then WordPress is overkill. Right? If you can spend a little bit of time on maybe paying a developer to do it or find a template and learning how to manipulate the code yourself, is always going to be better. I mean, you're going to invest like 46 minutes watching this video right now, so you know this is worthwhile. It's always an investment for the future. Anyway, I would advise staying away from WordPress in the beginning, and then once you get a good understanding of it, maybe migrate to using WordPress with your template. Okay, anyway, let's continue moving on. You can do both, all right? But you came to here to understand how to do it. So, okay, I want to be able to code the website myself and use DigitalOcean as the hosting provider. Okay, so now we're being clear that we want to be able to do it ourselves. Okay, so if you want, now we're getting some examples. So if you want to code your website yourself and use DigitalOcean for hosting, you can take a more hands-on approach. Here's a step-by-step guide for beginners to create a website from scratch. Okay, so it's created your Welcome to David's Recipes now simple website, right? Which is what you can use, and then some CSS, which you don't know what it's about, right? And it's giving you some more points here. It says, okay, super. Now, how do I start to test my website simply on my computer? Okay, once again, I'm just going to interrupt. I've created all of these things I've put towards the end of the video. I've given you an example of exactly how to do all this stuff. And this is the code actually that they said to use. All right, so keep watching and I will go through about how you do all of these things towards the end of the video. All right, so don't panic. I'm skipping over it a little bit because I'm going to show you how to do it. All right. Okay, testing your website locally on the computer is a great way to see how it looks and functions before deploying to DigitalOcean server. To do this, you can set up a local development environment here. All right, so read through this. We can read through this and see, just like a chef, you need to open up Visual Studio Code, Sublime Text, or Atoms. This is a code editor, like a text editor, where you can add this code into it. We can create these files, all right? And then it says how to, one second. Create a project folder. Well, we've done that already we've done that already here, this tuts folder. And think of this as your prep station in the kitchen. So this is our kitchen. In your project folder, create your HTML, CSS files. You can use the example HTML and CSS code I provided earlier. Save the HTML file with a .html extension and the CSS file with a .css extension. open your browser. To test your website, simply double click the HTML file. It will open in your web browser, just like serving a dish on. Okay, I don't believe that's going to work, but no, it's not going to work. Yeah. Double clicking index HTML files or HTML files and so on, it will more than likely work on a Windows machine, but just don't do it. It's just not good practice. Honestly, if you're going to learn how to develop a website, then learn how to serve the pages correctly. All right, don't learn this. It's not worth it. Just learn how to serve the pages correctly using the different technologies, as I talk about in the up and coming videos. All right. While opening HTML files, it's better to set up a local service. Simulates how your website will behave on a live server. You can use tools like Live Server extension in Visual Studio Code, or tools like XAMPP or WAMP server. Okay, so we'll just say I have installed VS Code. All right, that's what this is here. Okay, and have created my project folder, and then created my home page, my home.html file, and double clicked it, but nothing happened. I apologize for the inconvenience. When you double click the HTML file, it should ideally open in your web browser. If it's not working, here are some steps to troubleshoot. Okay, make sure your computer is set to open HTML files with a web browser by default. Okay, we can do this, but I don't like that option. Try opening the web browser first. Drag and drop the HTML file into the browser. This should open the HTML file in the browser. Well, you can do this. I have done this, but still I have done this, but I want it to use a domain name, like from the beginning. Okay, so I'm trying to think as if I didn't know what I was doing. I see you want to access your website using a domain name, even when testing it locally. To achieve this, you can simulate domain name usage on your local machine by modifying the host files. This will allow you to use your desired domain name, such as davidsrecipes.com. For testing your website locally, here's how to do it. Right, so on Windows, open Notepad, browse to this file here, change this file and this, and open Terminal, do this. Enter the host files, enter this. This is all correct, okay? Save the host file. This is correct. On Windows, open the command prompt. Dear. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Boy, that's too much. Don't do this. Don't do this. This is way too much. All right. This is good, but it's way too much. I have heard from a YouTuber that you can use PHP-S localhost. What's this all about? All right. Okay, so PHP is a programming language. It's a templating language going back, like a decade and more, and so on. But I like this way. All right, there are plenty of other ways to do it, but I don't have anything against PHP running on my machine, even if it's an old version, just to be able to do this, to run quick HTML websites if you want to do any development. Now, there are other better ways of doing it, but this way is perfectly fine. So I would advise just getting PHP installed on your Mac or on your Windows machine and doing it this way, because it's the quickest and easiest way to do it. All right. The command php-s localhost :8080 is used to run a simple PHP development server locally on a computer. It's a quick way to test and develop PHP-based web applications without the need for a full web server setup like Apache or Nginx. Let me explain this in simpler terms. Think of this as setting up temporary kitchenette in your home for experiment with new recipes. It's not a fully fledged restaurant, but a smaller, more crucial setup for trying out dishes. Okay, so open a command prompt here, navigate to your project folder, run the development here. Okay, so I am on a Mac. How do I open the terminal? And then navigate. We'll be really dumb now. Navigate to the project folder. Certainly, on a Mac, you open up the terminal and navigate to project folder using the following steps. You can open it in a few different ways. Command, spacebar, and then type terminal, which is like this. Terminal, like that. And then press the navigate, then press enter. Navigate to applications, utility terminal, open it from there. You can also add terminal to your dock. Okay, well, this is, I'm hoping you understand how to do this, okay? So navigate to your project folder. Well, if we do terminal here and open up, and this is what it would look like if we opened the terminal up without the change D. And it's now saying change to your directory. So let's ask this. What does mean? Right? What does this tilde mean? We ask this. The tilde character is a shorthand notation used in Unix-based operating systems, including Mac, to represent a user's home directory. It's a convenient way to refer to your home directory without having to type out the full path. For example, if your username on your Mac is David, the tilde refers to user's David directory, which is your home directory. So when you use cd tilde, it's equivalent to changing to your home directory. Here's a simple analogy. Think of your home directory as your house and tilde as your shortcut to your front door. So cd tilde is like walking to your front door to enter your house. Using the tilde is especially handy when working with the terminal because it allows you, yeah, okay. So super, you now know what this is. Well, I created it in a temp directory or a temp hard drive, and that is actually I actually made a mistake whilst doing this blah 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 blah. So we're just going to continue on. All right, I made a mistake with creating a symbolic link, this, that, and the other from a hard drive. Just ignore this and let's continue with the video. Okay, so now I'm in my tuts folder, and we're going to say hello.html, and we get this. Okay, so you can use ls command to list all the files and folders in the directory. That's what you could ask that again. What does ls do? And it will give you a description. Okay, so now we've got this. Where else were we at? You can change into your project folder. Yep. And now we'll say this. Say I ran. So I ran the command, and it said it could not find PHP. All right. So it's basically saying I have no idea what PHP is. If you receive PHP command not found error, it means that PHP is not installed or configured correctly in your system. To resolve this issue, you need to install PHP. Now, I don't think this is such a bad thing to do using Homebrew and so on, or like this. This is pretty easy because PHP is going to help you. If you're going to make your own website in the future, this is really going to help you. Let's just ask, do I really need to install PHP to make my own website? Let's just ask. Whether you need to install website depends on the technologies and features you want to use in your website. PHP is a server-side scripting language commonly used for web development, but it's not the only option. Here are some others. Website requirements. If your website doesn't require any server-side processing or dynamic content generation, you may not need PHP. A static website with just can be hosted without PHP. Look, so modern web frameworks like React, Angular, or Vue.js can create done without PHP. Okay, so there we go. We see another alternative here. We don't want a content management system like WordPress because it's too much. That needs PHP as well. We don't need a database, and the web hosting. What's that? The choice of your web hosting provider and their also affect whether you need PHP. Okay, so you can see here it's giving you good information. So I would, for you to learn right now, please give me some more info about, and we're just going to put it in quotes, this. Because this for you is a good thing to know. So certainly, let's explore the modern web development frameworks, React, Angular, and Vue.js. These frameworks are popular choices for building dynamic and interactive web applications. I'll provide an overview. Okay, so you can see React developed by Facebook, component-based, virtual DOM, this here. You can read this, Angular as well, and Vue here. Each of these frameworks has its strengths and is suited to different types of projects and developer preferences. Choice between them depends on your specific project requirements, your team expertise, and your development goals. You can learn more about each framework by exploring their official documentation. Okay, super. But I just want a static. I just want a few web pages and don't really want to have to learn other technologies, but want to have full control over the code and how it's shown to my visitors. What would you recommend? All right. So if you want to create a simple website, CSS, JavaScript, WordPress, choose a purchase domain testing. Okay, we seem to be, let's say we seem to be going in circles now. Now, how can I develop the website locally without installing PHP? Open HTTP direction WordPress. Yeah. Okay, so you can see here that at one point you need to do this local testing, right? And directly in a web browser and so on. So let me point you in the right direction again. A YouTuber told you. So a YouTuber told me that I can use something called Node.js to run a server. So yes, that's correct. Node.js is a runtime environment that allows you to run JavaScript on the server side. It's widely used for building server-side applications, including web servers. You can use Node.js to run a simple web server to serve your website locally without the need for PHP. Okay, so this is how you would do this. Now you're seeing lots of code again, once again, right? And so you're like, wow, this is overkill because you have no idea what this is, right? I have no idea what that text does. I am completely new to all this. Please help. I understand that you're new to web development. And here's install here, project folder, touch serve.js, edit the file. Okay, so it's just telling you to open this here and paste this, right? And then it's telling you to run this command and then access your website. So this should be like, if you follow this and you ask more questions about this, this is enough here to get your website up and running locally, okay? And the questions you could ask is, what is a port and why are we using 8080, right? Those are good questions here, like to debug why. So port is communication, and it's going to explain to you more about this and avoiding conflicts and so on. And now you can ask, okay, what is localhost and what does it mean? Right, this is now helping you to understand this. And this is type of stuff you need to read into more. And then this, for example, using localhost, it won't do it. My browser says that this website is in secure, right? This might be something that you get. Usually means the website's not using HTTPS. Here's another thing for you as well, right? So this is really important to understand. Is I read, so with regards to like HTTPS and so on, these are other keywords that you should start thinking about. I read online that some company will let them encrypt. I read online that some company will let you encrypt the data using their resources. I'm interested to see whether let and encrypt is going to come together, right? Okay, encrypting data using this, and I'm going to see whether it can come up with this. Let's encrypt. There it is. Okay, so this is the question that I was trying to get it to come at to. All right. So this is good information now that you can read, but the key information here is SSL TLS. Okay, what is the difference between these two? Right. So questions like these are good to do, and just to go a little bit deeper into it, right? Because these are really important questions. Question you to ask. So let's just summarize this now. Okay, super. I have learnt a lot so far. Could you please summarize everything that we have spoken about, and also add your recommendations of how most efficiently to proceed. See what it's got to say now. And this is the key point. This is the conclusion now that we've got for this one video. And yeah, certainly. Let's summarize what we've discussed and provide a step-by-step recommendation for proceeding efficiently with your goal of creating a website for your cooking video tutorials. So initial setup. You want to create a website for cooking video tutorials and have no prior experience with web development. You're setting up a hosting agent on DigitalOcean and chosen the domain name. Yes, super. You've installed Visual Studio Code and created your project folder. You've created your index file for your website homepage. We've just discussed 3 popular web development frameworks: React, Angular, and Vue. These are not necessary for your basic website, but can be considered more complex projects. Local development without PHP. You can develop your website locally using HTML, CSS, and optionally JavaScript without the need for PHP. Using Node.js server, you can use Node.js to run a simple local web server for testing. This allows you to access this local port and so on insecure. Okay, so this is now your ChatGPT part of it. Now let me just show you how to do this. Okay, so forget about ChatGPT now. I'm going to show you how to do this. All right, as a developer. So I'm going to say code dot, and this is going to open up Visual Studio Code. So we're saying, hey, open up Visual Studio Code, and dot is saying I want you to look in this directory right here, and ls means list, and then I'm going to say all hidden files, and I want to list it nicely. And we've got an hello.html file here. I do have PHP installed, okay, here, and I do have Node installed here too. All right, so we're going to do both ways, and let's go to Visual Studio Code and come here, and let's rename this, because this is what you should be doing, to index.html. There's a couple of nice little things that pop out the code that's needed. So we're going to say David's recipes first of all, and it gave us some text. It gave us some text that we can copy. There we go. Let's copy that. So let's copy that in there. It gave us some text, welcome to David here, right? And now that we've got this, and it gave us also another file, if you look here, which you didn't put in there, but I'm going to show you how to do this. Whoops. So we're going to go layout.css. We're going to plop that code in there as well. And then in this top bit, we're going to say link href, whoops, not here, link href, and we're going to say CSS, oops, no, we don't want a folder, we want to say layout.css, and this is then a rel is equal to style sheet here, and yeah, that'll do fine. Okay, now that we have this, we can come back to our terminal, and all we have to say is then php-s localhost and 8080, and then do this, and then go to that in the browser, localhost-8080, and you get your website. That's there because of too many things. You've missed. Welcome to the heading. There is an extra backslash here, some greater than sign here somewhere. It looks okay though. There it is. See there. Let's refresh this, and there it's gone. Okay, so that was how you would do it there. And DigitalOcean, I'm not going to do in this, but so that's how you do it with PHP. Now let's do the other version now, and we needed to have the Node.js. So let's come down here now, and so let's copy this, and it said server.js. Well, let's come back to this file and do new file, server.js, pop that in there. All right, this is going to be on port 8082, and we can come here to a terminal as well. We're not just going to say node server.js, come back to our web page, and let's just change as well. Let's just put run by node, okay, and we'll refresh this just to show you it's there, run by node. And this is so just to show you that all of this code actually does work. All right, so I hope I gave you an insight of how to do this. Now, like I said, you literally just need to keep asking it. Don't be afraid to ask questions and re-ask questions and start new chats about it, right? Because it's super important that you keep learning and try and stay on topic, and every now and again ask it to summarize what we've learned so far and what's the next steps, and tell it to go back. All right, but the gardeners are all working here now, so it's probably going to get a little bit loud, but thank you very much for watching. I hope you've learned something. If you haven't, please put the questions in the comments. I'm happy to make as many videos as possible because my main aim is to help other people, and if this helps you, because it helps me as well, I'm learning a lot more technical stuff, a lot more, and I have a whole bunch of books about loads of topics, and I use the internet. But since I've started using ChatGPT, I rarely Google anything anymore. If I have a bug or an error or a problem, I just ask ChatGPT. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Please consider subscribe, and if you don't want to subscribe, please consider giving this a like, a share. There might be someone else that you know could benefit from this. Thank you, and I'll see you in any other video that I've got on my on YouTube. Bye bye then. Okay, so now I've been through and edited the video, right? And let's pop back over to ChatGPT once again. And now I've written now as me, I've created the content for you, right? I've created the video, I've done the screen recordings, and I've edited it. I've made sure I've got the right things done. And now I want to create a title for it, and I want to create a description and some keywords and some tags and so on. So I'm going to use ChatGPT with exactly the same code I've got in here now, and I'm going to tell it again, hey, I want you to create a video, let's say a YouTube video tutorial based upon this chat that we are having, and to assume that I am a developer with more than 15 years of experience, and make this video for absolute beginners new to wanting to create their own website. Please now give me a video description for this YouTube video. Let's see what it can do. Okay, so creating your first website step by step for absolute beginners, video description, and boom, here it's still outputting. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're going to copy this now. Well, now, so please could you make the video title a bit more catchy and also more clickbaity. Build your first website in minutes, no experience needed. Please also mention AI in the title. AI-powered website building for absolute beginners. That's super. So now please revise the video description, remembering that we need to promote the idea of using AI to automate as much code as possible. Okay, and there you can see we get this now, this good video description, and now please give me a list of all relevant hash tags to add to the bottom of the description. And now there's a whole bunch of hashtags generated, and now generates a comma separated list of keywords to use for the YouTube video and SEO. And there we go. So that's it. I've now generated all of my video description. I've generated my title, and please give me an idea of what the thumbnail could look like. Also give me a super hooky intro that I can record to grab people's attention. So there's the thumbnail design, hooky intro. Here's a catchy intro that you can use. Are you ready to create your own website in minutes, even if you've never coded a single line, blah, 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 here. So anyway, I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao. Goodbye.